More and more people are becoming stressed out over the intensifying stag shortage. It has people wondering, will they ever see stag again?
What are we gonna do? Look, you know what you have to do.
Once I ring that bell, it can't be overrun.
There won't be any left if you don't. Do it.
I'd like to make a reservation at Major Zeros.
Please confirm one reservation at Major Zeros. Once a reservation has been placed, it cannot be canceled. You have 5 seconds to confirm.
Confirmed.
So, someone made a reservation, huh? It's too late. Too late. They will all be mine! They will all be mine! Stop smiling. They will be... Stop smiling. You're smiling. Quit. They will all be mine. They will all be mine. All right. All right. Let's do the other one again.
What are we gonna do? Look, you know what to do. There won't be any left if you don't. Do it. Stop.
Hey, my name is Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Have you ever had that 48-hour period where you wonder what just happened? So, the last 48 hours for me have been kind of insane with the amount of bottles that have come in and various different methods as far as how some of these were brought in. But and I'll go through every single one. And I'm just, as I started going through the weekend, this started Thursday through Saturday. This is Sunday morning. I said to myself, man, there's a lot of things that add into the lineup here. I mean, and then I thought, well, I'll check it when the weekend ends. It kind of takes a tally, and I'm like, whoa, okay. That was a whole hell of a lot. So I was sitting there, and I was thinking, I was like, did you ever have one of those days where it just feels like you're riding the unicorn and flying through the cosmos? I don't know exactly where I got that idea from, but I'm like, this is just one of those excellent weekends. So this is not a brag. This is, opportunities and amazing people, and it just worked out that way. So I want to go over one thing really quick. $12.50. You will have a drawing. You get someone that's in that $12.50, your subscriber over 21, continental U.S. You have an opportunity if you're drawn for an Eagle Rare or a 1-liter Buffalo Trace. Thank you so much, everybody, for growing this channel. You guys are the absolute best part of this channel. The members in this channel are outstanding. Thank you very much. So I'm going to put these to the side because there's a lot of things. And as I started doing this, I'm like, I'm going to have to go Dave Vogelsang here. I'm going to have to ask the wife for an extra shelf or a room or a little extra house or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Now, let's get into the madness that was the last 48 hours. So at least I'll have Sunday for rest. Looking forward to that. So I'll just start off and man, I don't even know where to start. But I'll tell you what, I'll start off. Yesterday was the Alabama bourbon drop. We have a lottery, every third month So, we had it January and, well, actually, I take it back. We didn't have it January. We had it March, June, September, and then we'll have the big drop in December. But this one, I haven't been fortunate enough to get a lottery number for the first 3 quarters, and that's fine. There's a lot of people that put in for them. But I have gone to all the quarterlies because I've found that on average, about 13 people aren't going to show up, which means that if you show up early as the walk up, you're going to get pulled into that top 50 a lot of times, and you have an opportunity for some excellent bottles. Only discrepancy I saw this time, and remember last week or so I had talked about how there was, they didn't post the birthday bourbons, and I was, a little bit concerned about that. I had someone tell me, they're there, you're good. And actually, they had 6 birthday bourbons. I was very excited for some people that got some of the birthday bourbons yesterday. Outstanding. The number one guy, he was so excited about it. He's like, man, this is going to be something that's special for him and his bar, something he's always wanted. Very excited for people like that. So that's the great part, is you also get them at MSRP. So you're not getting jacked up over them. So outstanding there. The one conundrum that I would say is that we had 2 people with the number 5 for the same store. So something was amiss there. Something wasn't right. But all that being said, still 15 people, even after one of the 5s got to move to 3, because someone didn't show up at the 3 hole. I bet they're kicking themselves today. But one of the 5 moved to number 3. The other 5 it was at 5. But still on top of that, 15 other people didn't show up. And I was the number 2 on walk up. So I went early because I said, this is a deep, deep drop. Even if I'm not in the top 40, I'm still going to get a good bottle or 2. I ended up being number 37, ended up with a couple of good bottles. So let's find those good bottles. So first one, Old Forester Single Barrel, 100 proof. This is an ABC store collect. I've never had one of the 100 proofs. I've had a friend that's was getting a sample together for me on this. Looking forward to that, but now I'll have also something to compare against, because this is the ABC pick. Old Forester Single Barrels do a fantastic job. One of my unicorns is behind me. You may not be able to see it. It's an Old Forester barrel strength rye coming in at like 130 proof. And that was one I haven't been able to find. This was one that I've never seen in our area. Was able to get up in the walk-up line. Got it yesterday, and it was $49.99 plus tax. So, I mean, that's the beauty of the Alabama bourbon drop, is that you're going to get great products at a great price. And it's something that adds to your bar. So the first one this was actually on table 2. So you have 2 tables. Table 1, you can pick 1 bottle from there. Table 2, you can pick 1 bottle from there. This was available on table 2. Was glad to snatch that one up. Very excited about that, especially on a walk up on a quarterly where I didn't have a number. Next bottle was Weller 12. This bottle right here, I actually was going with the intent, because I thought that where I would probably end up would give me an opportunity for a Weller 12 or an Antique 107. My brother-in-law, Dwayne, awesome guy, helped out the show a lot. He got me the Jack 10 and Jack 12 when he got some numbers in the Alabama lottery. He got those to me right at cost. And so I said, he had asked me during the week, he says, what you looking to get? I said, well, there's this, and this, but I have a feeling I'll get one of these. He says, do you have those? Are you interested in those? And I said, I actually have some of these, but I thought it would be, a great gift or something I could trade. He says, I'm interested in that. And I said, okay, if I get it, it's yours. So sure enough, I got it. I sent him the picture. I said, here's what I got you. And he's like, dude. And, he's like, he was willing to, and here's the funny part is I'm like, you could have it at cost. You're my family. You've done so much for me. He's like, no, I want to pay you what it would be to find this on second. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. That's just not appropriate, Well, hey, Finn. Finn's coming out to say hey. But, he sent me some money for this, and I got him the bottle, and I'm very excited that he's going to have this on his bar. He's a great guy. So, and as you notice, I did a short on these yesterday, but I kind of want to go over some of the stuff that I got first before I get into some of the other stuff. The other one, oh my, Old Charter. This is a Buffalo Trace product. This is the Spanish oak version. The Old Charter stuff, they take, their juice and they put it into different types of oaks. People make the misconception a lot of times that it's got to be American oak, but all it's got to be in is fresh. It's got to be in oak that's never been used before, and then charred. And so when you have like a Spanish oak, or you have a different types of maybe the Japanese oaks, you can use those. And if you can't tell by the camera, this thing has a beautiful, beautiful color to it. I'd reached out to Buffalo Trace, a couple different times on, hey, some media kits. I'd love to find out some stuff. And young lady there was like, hey, we've got this if you're interested in it. And it's a product that, they're new to the kind of the market, I guess, within the last year or so. And I said, I would absolutely love that. And I'm thinking I'm going to get, 100 milliliter, like almost a 4-ounce sample, something I could try and go out on the channel. I get home and Thursday night, I've got this monstrous package. And I'm like, what could this be? Did they just send all kinds of cool stuff in here? They sent me a 750 milliliter of this. And I was like blown away. I'm like, wow. Did a review on it yesterday, dropped yesterday. It was really, really impressed. This is only 92 proof, but the color and the flavor on this were, I thought, outstanding. And so I'm busy talking to some people about afterwards, and they're like, hey, have you looked, and their MSRP is like $79. And I'm sure if it goes full to market, I'm sure that you'll be able to find it hopefully at that price. But someone said, have you guys looked, Sean, have you looked at what they do on secondary? I'm like, what do you mean secondary? I mean, I've never even really had an idea or heard about this. And so they're on secondary, and some of the other ones that they have on there, some of the other oak ones that they've done, they're going for $500 to $700. And I'm like, whoa, but I'm glad I didn't know about that. I just wanted to taste this. What I was thinking is going to be, $70 bottle. Very happy for that. I do suspect some people got some bottles, and since the rarity of it, instead of maybe doing the review or whatever, they just threw it on secondary because it was a cash grab for them. But if you're asking for a sample, you should go ahead and make sure that you're actually going to give a review on it and be honest with it, forthright with it. I'm hoping people just didn't get this and then flip it to secondary to make a quick buck, because what that does is it limits maybe the opportunities for the people that are going to do the right thing. But I was very excited about this. I'm going to be getting some, we have the first Patreon sample pack drawing coming up on October 1st. So if you're part of that Patreon by October 1st, this will be one of the samples that's going to go out in there. So it'll be a product that you're probably not going to see in the market, but I want some other people to try it out and give their thoughts on it as well. And I think that's one of the great ways to do that. So let me slide these over. They may come off the camera, but the problem that I'm going to run into today is there's a lot of bottles. So we set these over here. We'll do that like that. Well, we'll try not to block the camera too much. But so, I was able to do some local hunting here. And for those that don't know, I am a huge 13th Colony fan. And so I was able to find 3 of the sour mashes. And for those that don't know, and I think I've talked about a lot, is that these sour mashes are discontinued. It's 105 proof. They're such a great drink, and I really like them. And I try to get these to a lot of people that don't have an opportunity for them. But I was very, very fortunate to pick up 3. And I'm going to put these, you'll probably not see them on camera anymore. And I was like, man, I got to put these to the side because I want some other people to try this. It's kind of gone the way of the dodo. I want other people to try it out. Very excited about that. Even had an offer from a member that had some of these and said, hey, I'd be willing to contribute this for a giveaway. And I'm thinking that is outstanding, because the best part about the bourbon community is absolutely 100% is sharing. When you get something, you want to talk about it sometimes, or have a tale, or just sit there sometimes with a buddy and have a sip. You ain't got to say a thing sometimes. Just try something new. So the intent is to let some other people try some of something that they'll never ever probably have, because it's not in their area and it's discontinued. Bottles are going away. So what else did we get this weekend? Oh, I don't know if there's any Georgia fans out there. Sometimes there's a few in the chat, Victor. But this came in locally. There's only 12 bottles locally, and this was at Maple Party that I'd seen. And this is the was it Rough series, but this is the National Championship back-to-back series. That's got the little dog tag with a 62-7 from the score last year. We all know that I'm an Auburn fan, but I'm a tater at heart. So when I see stuff like this, it's cool. It's 6-year MGP juice. It's got the back-to-back national champion stuff on there for Georgia. So I'm sure that this will find its way to a Georgia fan sometime in the near future. They also have an excellent, and if you're at the Maple Party Shop, they have an excellent Mattingly's that is also a back-to-back national championship. So if you're a Georgia fan and you want to decorate up your bar, this is some cool swag for that. Plus, MGP juice is pretty good. This one right here is coming in at 117.7 proof. This was actually bottle 192 of 192. So the last bottle from that barrel. And so very thrilled that this is going to get into someone's hands. I have a Georgia fan in mind on that one. So very, very excited on that. So what else were we able to get this weekend? New to our area, Ben Holliday. This is the soft red wheat bottle and bond. This is out of Missouri. I've had a lot of people tell me Ben Holliday is some good stuff. These happen to come in at Maple Party Shop, and I'm like, I did a video. People kept saying, Ben Holliday, Ben Holliday, Ben Holliday. And I'm like, okay, you made your point. I got it. I'm going to go get some Ben Holliday. So this will be my first Ben Holliday. I'll be doing a video of this in the upcoming future. Absolutely looking forward to that. It's my first Ben Holliday. So while I was there as well, they had a second Ben Holliday. This is the straight bourbon whiskey bottled in bond 6-year. So I've heard a lot of people talk about the soft red wheat. I've had some other people say this is very good. If you've tried the Ben Hollidays, don't give me the tasting notes, please. Don't give me tasting notes, because there is a power of suggestion thing, as Troy pointed out the other day. I always like to go in blind on things, absolutely blind. I want to know maybe a little bit about the company, but I want nothing to know about their tasting notes, because I want to give my experience. And it may not be everyone's experience, but I want to give what's my experience on that. So that'll be another one coming up. I'm looking forward to Ben Holliday. So, yeah, I may have to slide those over. I'm like, what have you done, Sean? What have you done? So, John J Bowman. The single barrel John J Bowman is an absolute fantastic pour. You can get them a lot of times for like at $70. I think that they're starting to get a little bit harder to find. So when I found this the other day, I'm like, I got to get it. Well, hey there, bud. Finn's coming to say hey over here. But John J Bowman, hey, what you doing? He just wanted to say hey. But John J Bowman, if you put these up against, some E.H. Taylor single barrels, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Do them in a blind and see what you think of them. Great pour for $69.99. It's Buffalo Trace product. They do it, but then they triple still it in Virginia and sell it. So I really, really enjoy the John J Bowman. Was very, very happy to find that this weekend. Yeah, still got a few bottles down here. So this is a Remus Straight bourbon store pick. So my buddy Jeremy, we what we do is we're out and about. He'll run into something and he'll say, "Hey, are you interested in this?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I'm interested in that." He says, "I'll pick it up for you when we meet each other. We'll trade out or square up or whatever." So he was able to get me a few bottles. I was able to get him a couple bottles and something to make it even. But this was one of the bottles. He was actually up at the tap house. Their store picks are very, very good. And I said, you know what? I'd like to try something different from Remus. I absolutely put me on for this. And this one's coming in at 113.2 proof. It's a high rye, a 39% rye. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. There's some other Remuses that I'd like to do in the future, and I'll get there, but this one should be coming up here pretty quick as well. So what does that lead me over here? Oh, man. Talking about hanging out with my buddy Jeremy. Caribou Crossing. Never had Caribou Crossing. He said, hey, they've got some of these Caribou Crossing single barrels up here. Are you interested in it? I'm like, yeah, I've never had one, and I'd be interested to see what they're all about. I don't know anything about it really, but I've heard people talk about Caribou Crossing. It's harder to find, at least in this area. So I said, yeah, I'd be interested in checking it out. So this was part of a trade that, like I said, I had with Jeremy. I was able to get him. We had a local store, the bottle shop, pick a cask strength, Jack Daniel's cask strength barrel proof rye. There were 3 barrels for the whole state of Georgia. Bottle shop got one of them. So I was able to get him one of those ryes, along with one of their Penelope, one of their Pinhook 8-year vertical series, which is MGP juice. And so we were able to trade this out for the Remus, the Caribou, and something else. And then I made it even to go there. But this was another bottle that I picked up from Jeremy this weekend as part of some trades. Whew. Third bottle I picked up as part of that trade. 13th Colony. So this is a cask strength bourbon. This one comes from Decatur Package Store, DPS. This one, there was 2 bottles or 2 stores that dropped in this area that I knew of. One of them was the Tap House. I have some of that. I've reviewed that. I actually got one of those to one of the members of this channel. We had made a trade, and I had a second bottle. I got that to one of the members of the channel. This is something new to the bar. This will give me something to compare against their other bourbon, the cask strength bourbon. Plus, being a huge fan of 13th Colony, I was super, super excited and stoked for this. So Jeremy's actually brother-in-law was the one that picked this up for me, and it's been a while since I've seen Jeremy, but was able to finally get this and bring it in. So super, super excited. I'm a kid at Christmas right now. I mean, I've got so many freaking Christmas presents up here I don't know what to do with right now. Whew. I'm sure the wife's not very happy. I will be building another shelf. So, local drops I talked about. This one right here. Is this the single barrel? Yep, Bottle Shop Single Barrel Rye. So, like I said, there was 3 barrels that went to the state of Georgia. Bottle Shop got one of them. And if you have not tried any of the Jack Daniel's barrel proof single barrel stuff, whether it's the bourbon or the rye, you're missing out. $1 per ounce, my absolute favorite pours. Was able to get this Thursday. Was actually able to. There's a max of 4, so but I went in and got 1 bottle and then went back. I don't want to be that person that takes up all the bottles most of the time, but went in there, picked this up, and then went back on Thursday and picked up the bottle, which I was able to trade with Jeremy. I was actually just going to pick up a backup bottle, and Jeremy's like, "Hey, I'm pretty interested." I said, "Yeah, I got you." Was able to share a pour of this with a friend to the show, a member of the show, Dan, at the Bourbon Drop, and he sent me some results yesterday, and he's like, "This is outstanding. This is fantastic," and I was very, very cool and very, very excited about that. And that's the fun part too at the Bourbon Drops is it's a community. You get to hang out with people, you get to trade some samples out, you get to talk about some stuff, some of the different stores in the area. So I met Dan yesterday. He actually drove down, from the Birmingham area, Hoover area, I believe. But he actually has a house closer in between there, and I think he was coming from that one. But I brought him a couple samples because I know he's a rye guy. He really, really loved this one. And so, when I went in to get that second bottle, which there'll be some pictures for this later, I was talking to the guys about something else, which I was able to get from a member of this channel, which is super cool. And I was able to talk about something else. They said, "Hey, do you like barrels? I'm like, like the empty barrels? I'm like, yeah, I love empty barrels. And he's like, would you be interested in having our Jack Daniel's store pick rye barrel? I'm like, yeah, what do I owe you? Like, free. I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, yes, that's freaking outstanding. So I was able to get that. And they don't do this all the time. And I know that I'm in there a lot. It's just not something that happens. So it's not like you're going to go in and request a barrel and get a barrel. But super stoked about that. Also put some pictures in here. So not only do I have a bottle from the barrel, I actually have the barrel itself. And it's super cool. You see where they put Bottle Shop on there. They signed it up, and it has their name on it when they selected the barrel. To me, it's very cool because it's part of a little bourbon history for this area. Absolutely love it. The first store pick Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye barrel in this area. I actually got the barrel. Super stoked about that. And this is fantastic juice. If you haven't had an opportunity, they do an amazing job. I almost hate to put that back there. But so we were talking about, meeting up and doing things and stuff. And at the bourbon drop in Auburn yesterday, mentioned Dan. Dan's a member of this channel. He saw how much I've really been liking the Sagamore lately. And he's like, Sean, I got this bottle for you. And I'm like, dude. And he was telling me, he says he's got some of the open bottles. He said, this one right here is phenomenal. And I trust his palate. There's certain people you just trust their palate. He said, you're going to really, really like this, I believe. But I'll be opening this one up soon, doing a review on this. The Sagamore Spirit stuff is fantastic. This is their cask strength American whiskey. This is a straight rye whiskey. And I am looking forward to this. 112 proof. He has been on a rye kick lately. He does a great job of picking out some ryes. Anything he's ever suggested, I really, really loved. So, Dan, thank you very much. I cannot wait to get into this. Football season's here. Weather's getting a little bit cooler. That rye is going to taste even a little bit better. So, looking forward to that. And I thought, there is no way that this weekend could get any better, but it did. So, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923. This is a 13-year, how many months? 13 years, 7 months, 133 proof. They come in, these are allocated to the area. I'm like, okay, there's 2 stores that have some. They're all gone already. And so I was able to get to both stores. I was able to get 1 bottle each from the store. And 1 bottle was for me, and 1 bottle was for a member of the channel. Terrence, who is phenomenal as far as supporting this channel in so many different ways, he had actually reached out to me and said, hey, do you see any of this C923 in your area? And I'm like, I was actually on the way to the store to go get one. I said, absolutely, Terrence, absolutely. So I picked one up for Terrence, and it'll be delivered in his hands shortly. He comes to the area every once in a while. Able to get him a bottle, able to get myself a bottle. I can't wait to crack this open. I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait to do some blinds with this. I mean, I've got so many ideas with this bottle. I know that this, it's harder to find, and I am very, very much looking forward to this. So, very excited. That's the one thing I like to do too, is if I can find a bottle for somebody, it's even more fun to get a bottle for somebody else than it is for myself, just because you want to be able to be a part of a share. You like to group. If you're a giver, you like to give. I love to give, especially with people that just gives back so much. So excited about this. Was excited to get it for myself and get it one for Terrence as well. So awesome opportunity there. But wait, there's one more. So at the Alabama Bourbon Drop yesterday, there were some premium bottles up there. And I didn't get any of these from the Alabama Bourbon Drop. I didn't get any of these from a trade from the Alabama Bourbon Drop. But I was able to get this from one of my local stores that I do a lot of business with. It wasn't MSRP, but it wasn't secondary either. So it was, it was a blend of things. And I was very fortunate, but you got to remember, I spent a lot of time in there. I spent a lot of money. I built a very good relationship with the person there. So last bottle, Old Fitzgerald 10. It's a 100 proofer, fantastic bottle. I was told by a couple of different people, if you have an opportunity to get this, get it. It is fantastic. So I said, let me pull the trigger on this. And like I said, this was kind of a lot before, like I said, this kind of went haywire this weekend. But this was the last bottle of the 48-hour period. Was very excited to have this. It's an iconic bottle. It's supposed to have fantastic juice in it. Looking forward to it. Whew, that was long-winded. But I'm curious, have you ever had some weekends where you just was like, I just can't believe this weekend happened? And it may not be the super unicorn stuff, but for me, these are a lot of super hard to get bottles. And so many awesome people that contributed to getting these bottles. And that's the point of having a good whiskey tribe, is you have people that want to help you, and you absolutely want to help them back. And so that was the whole gist of this weekend, is I was able to get a lot of fantastic things, whether it be from media samples, whether it be through trades, whether it be through gifts from people, whether it be through connections or spending the time at bourbon drops, or putting the time in at other stores and building relationships over time with those stores, so you may have an opportunity for something super nice. And it just shows that, and this is not in any way me bragging, look, no, because every freaking one of these that I open up, I'm going to be sampling out to people. That's just what I do, because I want people to try all the stuff. And I was so excited that I was able to get a couple of my friends a couple of bottles that they were looking at too. So that was super duper cool. Looking forward to the December lottery. I'm getting some ideas of something I want to do. I'm going to run it by the Patreon group, because I think it'll be really, really cool. But we'll talk about that at a different time. But it's Sunday. NFL's on later today. I'm ready to do some great stuff. Put in the crock pot. I'm thinking about doing, thinking about going ahead and doing some pot roast, with the onions and the carrots and the potatoes, and getting that ready to, watch the games today, have a nice dinner, relax, have a nice pour at the end of the night. But I hope you have something similar set up for yourself today, and you and your family have an amazing day. Thank you for listening to my ramblings today. I appreciate you all. God bless.